The great crypto reset. Last night, we went through one of the highest capitulation events probably on record for crypto, and the amount of liquidations and cascades that happened last night was one of the biggest we have seen. Now, is there recovery from here? Is this the start of a bear market? What's going on with the charts? And my days, did altcoins get an absolute battering? Well, once again, Bitcoin remains above $90,000. Is there manipulation? Let's go through it today. As far as Bitcoin goes, it has fallen basically just back to lower ranges. And Bitcoin is still considered for now looking okay. And support is below and still above 90,000 in 95,000, whilst the alt market has absolutely hammered. So this is painful for many reasons. Mainly, the vast majority of people are in altcoins, of course, and the vast majority are probably in very lowish cap or high risk altcoins. It's probably fair to say a lot of high risk traders over the past couple of days with no stop losses, extremely high leverage, they've been completely wiped out and probably lost full funds on their accounts. And these type of shakeouts are designed to do that. And even people such as the meme community, a lot of the memes right now are 90% down from highs. I think they're capitulating, and probably a lot of people within just high risk low caps. Now, when we go through these capitulation type of stages, it can often, so this is the glass half full situation, especially with how quick, so this is total two, guys, how quick altcoins fell compared to Bitcoin. When we see these really hard, fast drops, not slow drops all the way down, entering a real big bear market, these big signs that we might actually bounce in the very near future, because the big money, your market makers and your manipulators, have taken them funds off people and they're ready to head back into the market. You might be hearing a little things currently about Binance, which we'll cover on another video later today to tomorrow, about manipulating the market through to winter blue, I believe they called, and other things like that, and through Coinbase. And yes, market making can be an absolute nightmare for the common investor. So currently, big heavy drop, very, very similar to this one, very big heavy drop. And the recovery can take some time before the recovery does actually take full effect. So we've got the big drop. I wouldn't call it out the woodworks yet. Could we go and put in a new low before heading up? We will see. If we are going to recover here, once again, like I did mention down here when that happened, is I am not expecting a V-shaped recovery during these market conditions. There is a time and a place for the market to go through a 50 to 60% correction overnight, and we pretty much within days start printing that V-shaped recovery that everyone wants. Once again, unless some extremely good news comes on the back of this now, today and tomorrow and this week, maybe tariff tensions start easing already. Maybe Canada and America have a good chat. We'll see how that one goes. But at this moment, the market is being shocked through the tariffs and what might be considered a trade war with East versus West in many ways. So the way I would be looking at this, guys, in my head, I look at it in, if I give myself a more realistic outlook, I'm not going to be after the unrealistic outlook. It's the exact same down here. I kept on buying at these lows. I stopped buying at these highs, but I did have a lot of patience during this. So my realistic outlook will be very, very similar than the last time. Going to have to put some strength into this market, find a floor, find a base, and then hopefully we get that move back on. Listen, we don't control these markets. That's their market makers and other manipulators. End of the day, that's the way I'm looking at things. The biggest worst case scenario, guys, is if we actually go back to summer lows of 2024. I'm very much assuming from what I'm seeing and hearing in social media, a lot of people's portfolios might even be down there already, is because it just depends on the type of coin you're holding. So let's just go through that. Bitcoin dominance last night, holy wow, it flew and it rallied hard and it went into a cycle high before a big rejection. Let's just go back to total two a second as well. But just from what we were saying, is what we're hoping here, that this is just manipulation. I know that sounds really bad, but we're hoping this is just manipulation. The market then actually moves on again. People have got taken out who are extremely high risk, And now we go back to normal market conditions and maybe back to a bull run potentially at hand. If not, it could be a slow bleed. So what we're hoping for here is that this spike was pure manipulation. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but honestly, it's probably what we want right now, guys. I'll just get rid of some coins actually, because I want to just give that glass half full example with two coins here. We've got Chainlink and we've got Solana. There's a lot of coins, not just these two, that are still forming quite good longer term structures in the market. Yes, it is painful right now being an altcoin investor. But if we just look at Chainlink as an example, this is a coin I've always got eyes on. I originally had a pullback area, as you can see where my corrective 4 is on what we would call an Elliott wave. That's where I had the pullback type of level, was back down to 17s. Yet market makers absolutely crushed that one and dropped us into the 15s. But if we just head off onto that higher time frame view, we have the big correction in the bear market. We go through accumulation and we then impulse through into a big correction already. You can do this on Elliott waves. You can try and locate these in many ways. I tend to do my correction below previous highs, if that makes sense. A lot of people draw it into that high and a bounce, which is fine. This is crypto though. Liquidity can be crazily low. Low volume pockets, guys, and then a big drainage of liquidity out the market in low volume can cause a big cascade. Also, what a lot of market makers do, they'll wait until the leverage in the market is very high. You can see that on the order books and changes how high in the interest might be in the market. So I was expecting a drop through, not that low, I don't think, but we could always go lower. But at this moment in time, Chainlink is still forming a good longer time outlook. So this is something keeping my head in the game, shall we call it? But it's keeping me focused. I have a lot of Chainlink, I have a lot of Solana, and these are coins that I've always been vocal on. And yeah, these are coins that I've got a lot of hope for during this run, and they're holding okay compared to others. And then if we have a little look at Solana just here, I'm not saying that this trend isn't going to fall. And don't get me wrong, at this moment in time, if you want to trade, I mean, if you want to long from support, if you want to short back down into the trend, or if you want to wait for more confirmation, no one can really tell you what to do or anything in them senses. But as things stand, we got a low, then we ascend up, and we've already dropped back down into them 168 levels, and then we just dropped back down to 175. But it is another big cap that is holding really well. Dogecoin's okay. Dogecoin has actually fallen, hit March highs on the upper side. So basically trying to confirm March highs as support. And there's many other coins we could go through, but for the sake of the time frame of this video, I probably wouldn't. It's more of the point is a lot of the big cap coins are still doing okay. When I say okay, yes, they're not performing how we want them to if you are a bull. And I'm a bull in crypto, guys. And one thing I would say, fortune does favor the bull in the end. Goes into that saying, time in the market is better than trying to time the market. Too many people try and get way too savvy with markets, and before you know it, you're absolutely annihilated. Where if you could manage to withstand these drops and withstand this damage, you normally in the end come out on top. The other thing is as well, I know if we do enter and we enter a bull run, alt season and everything else, I know we're going to hear a lot of rhetoric of people saying that they didn't have time to buy the market, or I hope the market corrects one more time because I need to put funds in and I just got paid. These things do happen. I've been doing this for donkey's years. It's the same story here all the time. When the markets are actually on a fire sale, magically, a lot of people don't have money. But when the market goes back off into a big rally, magically, you find money again. I personally like to deploy my capital when we have corrections like this. Okay. Let's just clear this off a little bit before we start ending the video and just wrap up. We've had big corrections already in altcoins, but this ascending cycle, right? So there's a high, there's the higher low. We've gone up, and there was the correction. We've gone up, there was the correction, huge correction, and now we've gone high again with another huge correction. The market itself is still printing higher lows, believe it or not, on higher timeframes. This, though, was one of the toughest to stomach. I mean, we could count it from there if you want. We've done that with all the others, so we might as well. Let's not cheat this. So currently we are only 27% down today, 27%. That wick's nasty, but we've had worse. What I'm trying to do on a day like today, guys. This video is about not trying to shock and scare people anymore, or as much any more fear that you might already have. Trying to give the positive outlook as well, if there is one, and go through my views. Currently, I do look at longer time frames. I've been in crypto for a very long time, and I will be staying in crypto for a very long time. So yes, I do trade lower time frames. And if you ever want to come and join us in the group, you know where we are. And we do loads of trades. We've hit loads and loads and loads of trades today just from the shorts that we've caught on this market. But today isn't a day to really be celebrating stuff like that. Don't really mind if it's a couple of shorts and stuff. But this was a wipeout. Great. Some of us made some money on futures, but it's not the best of days to be celebrating that type of trade, unfortunately. A little recap, mainly the cycle's still on, but there's a lot of coins that have got obviously massive recoveries to do. Now, altcoins can rally 100 and 300% in 1 week. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Might be 90% down, 80% down. They can recover very, very, very fast, especially when the right market conditions are there. Another good thing is the fact that Bitcoin is still in control of this market. Okay. But that's how the cycle starts. Those always start with Bitcoin being the king. And then we normally get a flow when time is right. And maybe times are just not right now. Global conflicts within trade wars, that's nothing new, but it has been heightened and ramped up more than ever. One thing I would say, I think a lot of people might have already priced this in. This was always in Donald Trump's rhetoric in his build up to his campaign anyway. So I think a lot of the big wigs and bankers and the elites and stuff, they might have already had that planned and maybe been planning this crash for quite some time. Are they planning the pump anytime soon? What I would say, the markets are low. There's more money to be made to the upside than downside in terms of spot positions. You've got iShares going through, so BlackRock iShares going through a Polkadot ETF as well soon. You're going to probably have Solana ETFs, your Ethereum ETF, your XRP ETF. So when it comes to spot buying, I am confident that these banks or these institutions and the big powers and plays that be, they're not stupid. They know how much profit is sending this market back up. And the bigger structures of the bigger coins for now are actually in a cycle uptrend, but having a very, very, very bad moment. Before I do wrap this up, the big thing that I've always known from everyone that I've ever met that's successful and how I've obtained quite a bit of money over the years is when things are painful, just don't give up. A lot of people think people made money because it went in crypto and the housing market and the stock market early. The housing market has had horrible times and turmoil times. Stock market has horrible turmoil times. Crypto has horrible turmoil times. Usually, all three kind of happen at the same time. The people that made it within the housing market, stock market, and crypto have all been through this multiple times and they managed to remain and keep on surviving. Don't give up. And that is usually how you make the much bigger money in the end. And that's it from me. I'll see you on the next one. Any comments, drop them below, and any ideas for a future video, please let me know. All the best. Stay safe. Don't over risk. Ciao.